live here from Michigan International Speedway. Once again, the Leading Edge Pro Series here on ARCS Racing Networks. Also can be found on Facebook Live. Just search ARCS Racing Network as well as YouTube Live. And then also twitch.tv/ARCS Racing Networks. DP, we got a great race tonight. Cup cars are coming back at Michigan International Speedway as they get ready to go green flag racing here at Michigan. A great field in attendance tonight as the 43 of Diego is your pole sitter with the 14 on the outside, and they are green flag racing here, DP.
Green flag is out. The 43 of Diego going to start on the pole. He's going to be on the bottom. That 14 of Big John in second. There's a hole there. The 14 is going to get down, and he does. The 10 going to try to follow them through. If he can clear the 9, which he does as well, your top 3 are going to be single file going into 3, Ryan.
Yeah, and these custom setups really are going to come into play here at Michigan. Michigan, definitely a momentum track as we see the 43 still out front, the 14 on the outside. They come around to complete lap 1 here at Michigan. You see the 77. Oh, there's the 10 DP going on the inside of the 43. New race leader, the 10 car in that Ford Mustang.
More Smoke with a really strong run is able to get around the 43. He's going to take that first position. The 9 of Leafs Justin was the points leader last week, is going to fall all the way to 4th place this week, and he's starting to lose positions right off the bat. Going to have to get that set up, just kind of set up in a situation where he wants it to be. But right now that 9 car is starting to lose positions as the 10 and the 43 start to take off from the field, Ryan.
Yeah, the front 2 definitely have a little bit of a lead over the 14 of Big John. You see the 77 of Ward Burton there on the inside of the 9 of Leafs Justin. Oh, we got a bunch of cars really loose off turn 2, and there's a big wreck, DP. That's going to bring out the caution, I am sure, as there were several cars involved. The 13 of Trippy Tricks, the 3 of the J-Mac Attack. Looks like the 6 of Asylum's also involved, the 34 of Stout Whiskey, and the caution does fly here, DP. Let's see if we can get a word with, well, I say they're under caution, DP. It looks like they're still running here. I don't know if the caution didn't come out or what, but they're still full throttle here around Michigan International Speedway.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Could be racing it to the line. Could have just decided to kind of keep it green there. Sometimes things happen inside the race that we can't tell outside of the race. But right now, the 10 of More Smoke still in control of this race. It finally looks like the cars are slowing down, Ryan. Caution's going to be out now.
Caution is out, and we will see if we can get a word with our in-race reporter today, the J-Mac Attack 34. Buddy, it looked like you were involved in that wreck. What happened out there on the track, and what caused that wreck? All right. J-Mac Attack must be... I tried to unmute him, but could not unmute him, so he's probably busy getting his pit road adjustments ready. So not very many laps there ran, DP. Caution flies already here at Michigan. A lot of really fast cars involved in that wreck coming off of turn 2. It looked like the cars just got super loose coming off that turn, and then unfortunately just collected each other at the end of the pack. So all of these cars now coming down pit road, probably looking to take 4 tires. What other adjustments do you take as a driver, DP, here at Michigan?
Yeah, it kind of just depends on how your car is rotating in the center of the corner. I think that if you're being in a position where you're having to enter really low, you need to loosen that car up. if you're able to kind of run the lines you want to run, then the car maybe need to be a little bit tighter so you can get that really good drive off once the car rotates. But I think at Michigan, it kind of just depends on the situation that you're in. The 10 of a more smoke going to lead them off of pit road. The 43 going to come in second. The 9 loses a spot on pit road, will drop to fourth, Ryan.
Yeah, and that's really important because any spot that you lose on pit road is just critical to how you run on the racetrack. As you can see, the 10 and the 43 still in first and second, the 18 running in third. It looks like the 9 in fourth, the 14 of Big John in fifth, and the 1 car in sixth. I'm not sure if they will go green flag racing this time or not, but we will see as we got our streamer here. I'm just trying to figure out exactly lap counts and all of that good stuff, but it looks like they will be go green. They'll be taking the green this time, DP, so these guys just got to be a little bit patient here. As you see the 5 of Moordog, not sure what he was doing, maybe just trying to stay out of the way there, DP, but we got some more cars coming down pit road there, so I think we're going to take one more lap here under caution.
Those cars taking advantage of the extra lap under green flag, going to come down, fill that sucker up with fuel. It's going to be really interesting to see once they go green. The 43, I believe, started on the bottom here. I'm sorry, the 9 started on the outside. And he lost a ton of spots on the restart. He was able to gain a bunch of those back, Ryan, but I think that the inside line is going to be huge on these restarts. The 10, the 18, they are there. And so look for the 10 to get a nice jump, being the control car here as we get ready to go green flag. But the 18 might be in a really good spot to get some positions here starting on the inside.
Yeah, being the control car, it really is such a huge advantage on these restarts because you get to kind of go when you want to go, and everyone else kind of has to guess, when you take off. So the 10 car definitely in a good spot being that control car as they come around now. Hopefully we will go back green flag racing here in the restart zone. And it looks like they will go green flag here for the Leading Edge Pro Series Cup Series at Michigan International Speedway. The 10 car gets a good jump, but the 43 gets a really good run on the outside coming into turn 1, down into turn 2. The 1 car up there on his own, the 18 and 9 behind that 10 and 43 of Diego and Stout Whiskey as they come into turn 3, DP.
Last week we saw these drivers drive trucks at Richmond. This week we see them in cup cars at Michigan. These cars a lot looser than their truck counterparts. And so you can lose control really quick. It looks like the 14 of Big John is up into the wall. He's going to get shuffled out of that line, and that's going to make way for the 9, the 18. The 18 is going to come into third behind the 10 and the 43, but puts pressure on the 43 for second place, Ryan.
Absolutely, and they are coming to lap 10 of 50 here in this 25% length race. And look at the pack. The 10 car leading that pack, the 43 of Diego running second, the 18 in third, the 14 and 9 battling for that fourth place. But here comes the 37 of Mr. Track Bar, doing his best to get to the front. The 3 of the J-Mac Attack, you see him riding by his lonesome back there in the back, so maybe still has some damage on that number 3 Chevrolet machine. But right now, the 43 doing a good job, but now the 18 and the 9 looking down low on the 43, trying to get to the 10, coming into turn 3, out of turn 4, back to the start-finish line.
Ryan, every time you get one of these drivers into a really like a big track situation, you always start to see this pack racing situation. We saw it at Auto Club, and now we're seeing it again tonight. The 10 car holding strong on the bottom, but the 43 telling these drivers that there's something to be said for that outside line. He's lost some positions now, but that's something that can be learned from these drivers as they get to the waning stages of this race. The 18 now on the inside of the 9 for second place. That outside line is not going away like you would think it would at most tracks.
It really isn't, DP, and you with these custom setups, you can really set your car up to run the outside line, but you see the 9 car losing positions left and right. He just does not have the draft help and just doesn't have the good run that inside line does. You see they are 2 by 2 from 1st through 6th. Oh, the 18 gets into the wall just a little bit. That's going to slow his momentum. The 88 of JRM Dohar now down low. There is the 34 of Stout Whiskey in that number. Loves Ford Mustang, but the 9 of Leafs Justin doing his absolute best to try and make that outside work, but it's just really tough right now as we see just a little bit of lag out of these servers. Hopefully we can keep these things going green for the remainder of the race. We'll be coming to lap 14 of 50 here in this race, DP.
And here comes the points leader, the 37 of Mr. Track Bar, making his way up into second place. Faces a significant challenge from the 77 of Ward Burton, but still holding strong to that position and wants to try to get around the 10, but the 10 has been a really strong ride ever since he made his way up into first place. Now the 37 finds the right outside quarter panel of the 10. They're going to be 3 wide for just a second for the lead here. They remain 3 wide for second place, Ryan.
Amazing racing up here up front. But I say up front, but DP, I mean, everyone is really up front. I mean, look at this pack. Other than the 3 who may have some damage on that Chevrolet Camaro, everyone is in this lead pack. The 37 of Mr. Track Bar really making that outside line work. He has the 88 of JRM Dohar right behind him. The 10 will lead this lap, but man, what a show these guys are putting on. The 77 of Ward Burton right behind the 10 of Amore Smoke, trying to help the 10 get a little bit of a run on the bottom, but that outside line just has such a great run off the turns. That momentum that they build here at Michigan is just unbelievable, as the 88 gives the 37 a little bump into turn 3. 10 car still your race leader, but the 37 hot on his tail.
Still 2 by 2 as they come across the stripe. Really intense racing that we're seeing from all these drivers, but especially up front. The 10 leads the 77 on the bottom. The 37 and the 88 of JRM Dohar still holding strong on that outside. Runs coming from every which way. Right now, the 37 underneath the 77 for second. The 10 finally starting to find some room from the rest of this pack.
He has a little bit of a lead, but here at Michigan with this draft, that lead is not going to last for long. But the 10 of Amore Smoke still your current race leader, the 77 of Ward Burton running second. Now the 34 battling the 88 of JRM Dohar for that third place. The 1 car as well as the 37 of Mr. Track Bar on that inside line doing the best that they can. We will be coming to lap 18 of 50 here, and DP, they're getting a little low on fuel, so keep an eye out for green flag pit stops as the 77 closes in on the 10 coming out of turn 3 into turn 4 back to the start finish line to complete lap 18 of 50 here at Michigan. Again, Leading Edge Pro Series from Michigan International Speedway. A great race so far. The 10 car doing a great job of leading this race, but the 34 now looking to the inside of the 77, DP.
This Leading Edge Pro Series, no strangers to green flag green flag pit stops. And one of those things that happen, Ryan, you see this whole group of cars, when they come down pit road once, it's likely that you're going to see that group of cars get a little bit smaller. If they go down for 2 green flag pit stops, it's going to be even smaller. And so these guys are trying to stay as close to the front as they can because they know that once they come down pit road, it's going to be crunch time and it's going to be crucial that not just every second counts, but every 10th of a second while you're on pit road or coming off of pit road is going to count to where you're going to end up in this pack once it all settles out.
Absolutely, and we got about 31 laps remaining now, and the fuel is starting to drain out of these NASCAR Cup Series race cars. So we will keep an eye for green flag pit stops. You see the field now not really running 2 and 3 wide like they were before. Everyone kind of in a single file line. The 14 kind of out of line, but here at the front, the 34 jumps outside. That is the 34 of Stout Whiskey, new race leader, the 34. But how long can he keep it there on that outside line? He has a really good pusher there behind him in the 37 of Mr. Track Bar. But green flag pit stops, DP, have got to be coming soon. I'm showing that these cars only have about 2 to 3 laps of fuel left, so green flag stops got to be coming here within the next lap or two.
Looking like this double file line is really being dictated by the leaders, Ryan. I think that when they're running bumper to bumper up front, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you start to see that line, that snaky line start to form. But if there's somebody that goes outside and there's a draft to suck up to, then a lot of these drivers are more than happy to jump up there and do that. Now you see the 34 with the 88 pushing him as hard as he can. It seems like the 10 and the 37, the 34 and the 88, they're just fighting each other top and bottom right before we go to green flag stop.
Yeah, and it looks like there are several cars that come down pit road this time, including our streamer of the 43, Diego, and several other cars. So we do have some cars that stayed out one extra lap. You see here the 88 of JRM Dohar, now your race leader, with the 34 of Stout Whiskey, the 9 of Leafs Justin, a couple other cars back there. Looks like maybe the 6 of Asylums and the 14 of Big John stayed out one more lap. Let's see if they decide to come down pit road this time. There, the 34 goes and the 88. So the rest of the cars, other than the 6 DP, the 6 is going to stay out one more lap. And that is a risky move. You know, DP, when you have old tires, you lose a lot of time on the track when you decide to stay out a little bit later. So he may be trying to play some fuel strategy at this point. So watch out for that 6 car as we get later in this run. As we're back to the leaders now, there you see the 6 dip down into pit road as the 9 and the 88 and the 34 struggle off pit road, coming side by side. But now the 10 back to your race leader, the 77 of Ward Burton, running second now with the 37, the 13 of Trippy Tricks, and the 5 of Moordog in that top pack right now. Really doing a good job. The 43 and the 18 of the Aviator, just a couple of tenths back from this lead pack as they come to the start-finish line once again. We will try and get a lap count here in just a second, but only another about 13 to 14 laps of fuel before they have to come down pit road once again. So the 10 car of More Smoke, still your race leader, but the 77 of Ward Burton fighting hard with the 37 of Mr. Track Bar to try and get up front and lead this race here at Michigan.
Really good racing that we're seeing. And like we said, Ryan, that pack got a little bit thinner, but not much more than what it was before. It looks like about 8 cars still up here in this pack trying to battle the 10 for the lead. So this is anybody's race up here, Ryan. Still we're about halfway. And so there's still a lot of racing, probably one more green flag pit stop to come. Still a lot of strategy left to be performed here in this race.
Yeah, and we're coming to lap 26 of 50, so we got about 24 laps remaining here as we ride along with the 77 of Ward Burton. And you can see the 43 has a really good pusher of the 18, and they are now 3 wide for the lead coming into turn 1. We'll ride along still with this Advent Health Chevrolet Camaro of Ward Burton. He is currently in 5th. Oh, the 43 gets loose. What a tremendous... Oh, there's another car way down
the
37,
the points leader, Mr. Trackbar. Sorry to interrupt you. He is off onto the pavement, and that's gonna be really bad for his race here, Ryan.
Yeah, and he is just now getting up to speed as we catch up with him on the stream. That is going to be a killer, as he actually looks like he's spinning in the grass now. Oh man, what was bad just turns to worse for the 37 of Mr. Trackbar. He finally does get back up to speed in that number 37 Chevrolet Camaro, but unfortunate events there for your points leader. And that, I mean, DP, these points are close. We will try and get you an update, but man, you can't afford to have a bad finish. And now they're coming just across the line with 28 laps completed of the 50 scheduled laps. And Mr. Trackbar is really in a hole now. He's got to make some time up here.
Mr. Trackbar coming into this race with 438 points. That puts him 8 points ahead of Stout Whiskey and only 16 points ahead of Amore Smoke. You see the 10 up here fighting for the lead. The 10 of Amore Smoke doing everything that he can to minimize that gap between him and Mr. Trackbar. Mr. Trackbar having not the race that he wanted to so far, and that's going to be big news. But big news for the 77 of Ward Burton. He's going to take over the lead. The 5 of Moordog now underneath of him. The 10 has fallen all the way back to 3rd place, which is not all the way back, Ryan. It's just about a couple car lengths.
Yeah, and you see the 10 get way low there. There are no out-of-bounds rules here at Michigan. So if you go beyond or below that white line, no penalty will be served. If you can make it stick, you can keep it down there. So the 10 is definitely using the lane even below that white line as they're coming up on a lap car. That is unfortunately Mr. Trackbar in the 37. So hopefully he will yield to these lead lap cars. As the 5, oh, he cuts the 77 off just a little bit there, DP. He's really blocking hard as your race leader, but they are 2-3 wide for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. 10 car comes back as your race leader. The 18 now in 2nd. The 5 battling with the 34 for 3rd place as they cross the start-finish line once again here at Michigan.
The 5 coming up to the top line to block the 77, Ryan, but that's not the line he wanted to block. The 10 had a super fast run at the same time. He came up to get the 77, and the 10 was able to get to that quarter panel, ultimately able to take the lead. The 5 gets split in the middle. The 77's around. He's into the 88 of Dohar. Not quite sure, Ryan, if that will bring out a caution, but there are 2 or 3 cars around.
Yeah, definitely Ward Burton involved in that wreck. Looked like the 13 also may have gotten a piece of that. We go back to the leaders here. We'll see if they back down here at the line, and it looks like they will, DP. So the caution flies for the 2nd time tonight, which is really, really good of these drivers. You know, last week, DP, we went caution free at Richmond, and only the 2nd caution here tonight. Looks like that 77 just got a little loose, and unfortunately was not able to keep it going straight. So these drivers will definitely hit pit road now, and it's going to be very close on fuel. They're going to be probably a couple laps short by my math. I'm trying to be Larry McReynolds here, DP, but they're going to be a little bit short, so they might need one more caution, but I think everybody will come down pit road to get those 4 fresh Goodyear tires.
I think they will I think they will too, Ryan. I think that it's too much at this point of a risk to not come down pit road and have everybody behind you come down pit road. So the 10 is going to lead the 18 and the rest of the field down pit road. They will get 4 tires, make some adjustments. We're going to have about 18 laps remaining in this race, Ryan. These cars can only go about 14 or 15 laps on fuel. And so that means that it's about to be a fuel saving race. I know that some people are really happy with that. Some people don't like that. Usually the field's pretty split. And so that's going to be a thing if we don't have a caution in the next 3 or 4 laps once we go green.
Absolutely. And let's see if we can get the J-Mac attack. Do you got a copy, buddy?
Sir, I do.
There we are. Man, you've been struggling a little bit. You've been involved in a couple cautions, but man, tell us about this race. Only 2 cautions so far. Do you think you can get that 3 car back up front?
Yeah, absolutely. The first wreck we had at Dodge, and then the rear end just got light trying to get back onto the track and went head first into the wall. And then during the pit cycle, we apparently clicked off taking left side tires. Only took 2 tires there on accident, so we were way off the pace and struggling. We really needed that yellow, but we have a good car. After that pit stop, we were running pretty equal with the guys who were drafting with each other on the back of the pack. So, I mean, we'll be good here. It just a little bit of bad luck to start off, but we got some good fortune, and we're going to see if we can go win this thing.
Absolutely. Well, good luck to you. We'll let you get back to the race. We'll be watching you, and maybe we'll talk to you at the end of the race if you get up there in the top 3.
Yes, sir.
There you go, DP, the J-Mac attack. He's got his tires set up. He's ready to go as these guys look to go green flag racing here. Once again, coming to the start-finish line, the 10 of A More Smoke is your race leader. He gets a really good jump there on the 18. The 18 looks like he may have missed a shift or just didn't get going, DP, and that's really going to hurt him. But I'll tell you one guy that really... Oh, we got one around already, DP. Who is that? I can't quite see it, but car around there coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, trying to catch up with that driver. It looks like it's the 13 of Trippy Tricks. We saw him running in the top 5 earlier in the race. He has fallen all the way to the back of the field, along with Ryan, the 77 of Ward Burton, the 43 of the Aviator, I believe. They are kind of flanking the field back there. They have lost all of their track position as well. They're going to have to make their way up to the front, along with the 88 of JRM Dohar. Wow, a lot of good cars at the back of this field, Brian.
Yeah, I think the 43 is our in-race streamer, Diego. The Aviator, I think, is in the 18 tonight. But, man.
Oh, yes. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're all good. There's a lot of cars out here. It is hard to keep up with everybody. But look at who is on that inside line leading the charge, the one and only J-Mac attack. He told us he had a good car, and, man, he was not lying, DP. He's up there fighting and battling for second, really third place at this point. But the 37 also very happy that caution came out. He was a lap down, so I believe he got his lap back. I don't know for certain if he is on the lead lap or not there, DP, but still a great break for the 37 of Mr. Track Bar. It's the 34 and the 10 fighting now for the lead as they will be coming next time to lap 38 of 50. This race is closing to an end. DP, I am going to go just take a short minute break, so I will throw it to you. I will be back here in just a moment.
Absolutely no problem. The 34 on the bottom with the advantage over the 10. He's actually able to make that pass. Is Stout Whiskey second place in the points, trying to make up that 8 point difference between him and the 9 of Leafs. Justin, way back in your screen at the back of the pack, runs that 9 car. Stands to lose a ton of points at this race. Is going to have to come back. Now the 10 on the bottom. Able to get around the 34. They are passing this lead back and forth. The 3 of the J-Mac attack has not gone away either. Incredible racing that we're seeing from this Leading Edge Pro Series. Only about 23 laps to go, Ryan.
Yeah, only 23 to go, and definitely some great racing here. As you can see on our stream, watching from the 10 of A More Smoke back to the rest of the field. You have that 34 of Stout Whiskey, the 3 of the J-Mac attack, the 1 of Dan the Lawn Man in the top 4 positions right now. Again, DP, it's going to be really close on fuel, so do you think some of the guys in the back may be saving a little bit to try and make it to the end of this race without having to pit one more time?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. The guys at the back of the field are doing a lot better job of saving fuel than the guys at the front. If you're the 10, the 34, the 3, the 1, you really just got to send it. If you're in the middle of the pack, you're probably doing the best because you got cars behind you and in front of you, giving you draft, helping you stay in the pack. And so, I mean, really, if these guys come down pit road and a guy is saving fuel, Ryan, they could be a half a lap back. Seeing all these guys running in the pack, not quite sure. That's about 3 laps to save. And so I think, Ryan, we might just have to see what happens here.
Yeah, from our streamer here, they'll be coming to lap 41 of 50 here, so about 9 laps left, and they have about 8 laps of fuel remaining, DP. So this is going to come down to the wire on fuel, tires as well. These guys run 3X wear for these 25% races, so this is going to be so close. But the 10 car obviously not backing down any. Neither is the 34 or the 3. Really, you don't see anyone, DP, running slower than these leaders. There's a couple. It looks like maybe the 18. There you see the 13 of Trippy Tricks looking in front of the leaders. He will be unfortunately going a lap down. Hopefully he will stay up high. There you see the 13 way high. Very respectable move there by the 13 of Trippy Tricks. As the 10 and the 34 continue to battle, the fuel tanks are showing about 6 laps of fuel left. DP, I don't know if anyone can make it or not, but it will be very interesting to see if anyone can try and push it to the end of this race.
It's going to be really close, Ryan, as they come across the line. You really just don't know. These drivers are going to be able to save fuel all the way up until that very last lap. And so it's just hard to tell. The 10 and the 34, they're starting to gap the field a little bit, maybe a telltale sign. Any type of gap that you see between the field, Ryan, is probably because these guys are letting off the throttle a little bit. The draft has been keeping them so close together the entire race that as these cars start to spread out, maybe they are saving just a little bit.
It definitely seems that way, especially back here. We're riding along with the 77 of Ward Burton. He's really in the perfect spot right now. Him and our in-race streamer of Diego currently running in the 10th position. This is really a good spot to run because you are able to let off the gas a little bit. Oh, the 1 car gets hit by the 14. Oh, man, he goes way down low. He saves it. Really good save there by the 1 of Dan the Lawn Man. But DP, these guys in the back, they're able to save just a little bit more than the rest of the field. But the fuel tank only shows about 4 laps until these cars are completely out of fuel. And we are getting close to the end of this race, DP. This is going to be intense to see who can save fuel or who is going to have to come in for a splash and go here before the race is over.
Now the 34 and the 10 side by side for the lead. We've had side by side racing for the lead pretty much all night long. This under a different context as we see these drivers desperately trying to make it to the end of this race without having to go down pit road. So much time can be lost on pit road, especially if you got one guy. See, Ryan, if you look way back, just coming across the stripe now, you got two drivers. Not quite sure who that is, but that's what I'm talking about. If all these guys come down pit road, you could be a half a lap behind or maybe even a whole lap behind, Ryan, and you can still come back and win this race. So as the 34 and the 10 continue to battle it out, it still becomes a question of who can save the fuel. About 2 laps before that window is supposed to close, Ryan, so we're going to find out really quick.
Yeah, we are. And, the 34, we see a couple cars come down pit road. So the green flag stops have started. DP, I don't think you'll see anyone really take 4 tires. They're probably going to gamble and take 2 tires, maybe even no tires, and just a splash of fuel, as we do not have very many laps left here in this race. From our in-race streamer, it just changed to 1 lap, DP, on the fuel tank. So these guys are definitely running on fumes right now. We have about 3 laps left, so no one, I don't think, can make it. As you see, a lot of the lead lap cars, the 34 and the 14, come down pit road. The 88 of JRM Dohar is going to stay out 1 more lap. But it looks like from our good buddy Diego, he is not going to take any tires. He's not repairing anything. He is just getting his half a can of fuel, basically a 3.2 second stop. And I think you'll see that from all of your race leaders. But we'll see where these guys come out as the 88 continues to stay out here. He might try and win this thing.
The 6 of Asylum's being scored as your leader. I believe that makes the 88 and the 77 running second and third respectively. We've seen, Ryan, the 88 save a ton of gas at tracks before. This could be the strategy, and it could be the race for the win. The 6, the 88, and the 7 coming up on a bunch of drivers up there, but they are too wide once again for this lead.
They are, and it doesn't look like they're saving their DP. I can't believe that they're still racing, but I think they're going to try and push this thing to the end, as we are now, I believe that's either 2 or 1 to go. It's hard to tell here, but these guys have got to be running on fumes, DP. And can the 6 hold off here and keep this lead? Oh, the 6 is out of fuel, DP. The 6 is out of fuel.
And that's what's going to happen. And now it belongs to the 88 and the 77. I believe the 10 of a more smoke comes underneath the 88 to unlap himself. I believe these drivers are going to come to 1 lap remaining. I could definitely be wrong, but I believe it's going to be a 1 lap to go for the 88 and the 77. They're door to door. That's got to be the race. I believe the 77 might win this race, Ryan.
I think it is. I believe that is the checkered flag. We will see here. I think, let's see if we can catch up with the 77 of, there you see the 5 car out of gas on the backstretch, stops there. Let's see if we can catch up with this 77. That is it, DP. Race is over. The 77 comes home as your race winner. Unbelievable. JRM Dohar finishes second. Leafs Justin 24 comes home in third. Asylum's in fourth. Stout Whiskey fifth. Diego in sixth. The Aviators seventh. Big John in eighth. The J Mac Attack ninth. And More Smoke comes home in the 10th position. So what a race. Came down to some fuel mileage. But the 77 gets his first win of the season. Stay tuned, everyone. We will have your top 3 interviews here just momentarily. Again, catch all the action of Leading Edge Pro Series on ARCS Racing Networks. Congrats to Ward Burton. We will have a word with him here momentarily. Stay tuned. Back live here with your top 3 finishers. We will start with third place, Leafs Justin 24. Man, you were running good all race, but you had a good points day. You come home third. Tell us about your race there in that number 9 car.
Yes. Tried my best to run up front and ran into another little issue with lag like we did last week, and so I opted to kind of run that conservative back of the front pack position for a lot of it, and just kind of worked out that I was still in the front pack, and yellows fell, and a few people got caught up in some stuff, and we got a yellow, when we did, about probably 18 or 19 to go, and that set up a run where it was, it was reasonable, or it was within range for this game that you could save it. And I didn't have a fuel gear in, but I was just popping it in a neutral and letting it go, and we lost the draft. But it was a distant third, but we were able to pull it out somehow. And I felt fast. I don't want to say I didn't deserve a third on speed. I feel like I was right there in the mix, but I'll take it regardless.
Absolutely. You had a good run, and P3, definitely nothing to complain about. Good run for you. DP, you have our second place finisher. Go ahead there, buddy.
JRM Dohar, what a good race that you had tonight. When the caution fell the way that it did, we knew that it was going to be a fuel saving race. If anybody was going to do it, then we started to see everybody come down pit road. I was ready to crown you the fuel saving king. Ward Burton able to just nudge you right at the line. But tell us about the end of that race, and then tell us about what you were going through on that last lap. We kind of missed it that it was the last lap, but that was a big fight that you had with the 77 at the end.
Yeah, I mean, We had a fast car all race. I knew we were going to be up there. It just took me a little bit to get used to it because I made some changes before the race that really helped the car just drive better. But I really just wanted to take the race easy and kind of just feel everybody out because I knew some guys hadn't been on the game in a little bit. So we kind of just bided our time basically for the first 3 quarters of the race. But then when the caution came out, because the 37 needed to try and get his lap back, that pretty much set up a fuel strategy to the end there that we all kind of knew what was going to happen. And I figured, the people that were likely to do it were going to be the 6, myself, the 77, and the 9. So we were kind of playing games with each other. I didn't come in with the fuel gear. I came in with the standard gear, but, luckily I have my shifter and I could just pop it into neutral. But saving that much fuel here was tough because you just got to let it coast for basically half the straightaway. So luckily we were able to keep up in the draft because those guys were racing so hard and we were able to really, we probably should have run out on the backstretch, but we came down to it off 4. I was just trying to position him on the high side because I knew if I ran out, the car would go right and maybe I would slow his momentum down like right at the last second. And just kind of how we were managing by the 6 and some lap traffic, I thought, well, if I could just put him in a precarious spot and keep him behind me, and if I run out on the front stretch, he gives me a push on accident, maybe that'll be enough. But I mean, when it comes down to fuel saving, he's learned a lot. I know from watching me, and I've kind of given away about every secret I got, so I know to expect it. But we've had some good races when it comes down to fuel. It's always nice to see, the race within the race and the strategy that plays and kind of the mind games. I'd let him by, and then I'd get back by him, just to see who could outsave the other and kind of play cat and mouse. But it was a lot of fun, and we just sputtered right there about just past pit road entry, and he was on my outside, and once it started going right, I just cranked it left because I didn't want to plant him in the wall. I wanted to try and nudge him a little bit, see if I can get the momentum. But I'll take second 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, it's on field strategy, but you know what? You can eat my shorts, Mr. Track Bar. You suck. So either way, I got to thank Marty Hensley, Rock NASCAR, for putting this series on. He's the man. And, we'll go get him next week at Darlington.
Yeah, like I said, incredible run by you. You'll take home the silver medal. I'm sure you wish you had the gold, but a second place is going to do really good for your points. So I wish you luck for the remainder of the season. Buddy.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Ryan, you got the winner, Ward Burton.
Absolutely. Ward Burton, you bring that number 77 home. Victory in victory lane, man. Tell us about your race. You had a really close battle with Dohar coming to the line, but you brought that thing home. You get the gold medal. Tell us about your race there, buddy.
Yeah, Ryan, when we looked at it tonight, this was one of our tracks that we circled on the schedule that we knew we had a really good chance at. And, tonight, it was a good little battle all around. At the start, we got track position. We were able to get up to the front, but a couple wrecks changed things up and so on. But, the car was great. And then coming to the end there, I knew Tyler was on the strategy. I mean, I learned from him in regards to how to do fuel strategy. He's arguably the best in this game at it. And I knew I had to pop in the neutral, mix around at a minor save gear, but it really wasn't doing much. And neutral was helping a lot more. And I knew if we were just in draft and they were racing hard, we had a heck of a chance, and we really just caught a lucky break, for them to not wreck up there and to stay right up there with the lead pack really helped the bunch. And we had a lot of speed. I knew going into that final corner because coming off 4, coming to take the white, I knew Asylums wasn't going to make it on gas. So I tried to go under, but I'm not going to wreck the 88 for a win. I'm not like that. So lifted, let them go down the back stretch and then try again in the 3. And I knew I was better than him on entry. And that's when I really got the run. And then fortunately, Tyler ended up running short. And he tried his hardest, Yeah, I give him a lot of credit. Not a lot of guys can, race someone clean to a victory. Everyone goes at it, but give a lot of credit tonight. He raced me clean. He gave me as much room, and that's all I can ask for at the end of this thing.
Absolutely, and congratulations again to you for your win. It's definitely going to help you in the points whenever we get those point standings released. So good job to you tonight in that 77, Carl. We look forward to hopefully talking to you next week.
Yep, thank you so much. And I also want to thank Marty Hensley and everyone behind the scenes. This series has been awesome, and it's really been a privilege to be a part of it.
Absolutely. We definitely got to throw a shout out to Rock NASCAR 388. He is the sponsor for this series this first season. It's been a great season so far, some great racing, DP. Man, I enjoyed tonight. Not very many cautions. Michigan, always a good track to get some fuel mileage and some really good racing. What'd you think about tonight's race, DP?
I think Ward Burton won the race. He comes into the race at 9th in points. You got Leaf Justin, who came in third or in fourth in points, but he was last week was the leader in points, and then he gets a strong third place finish. JRM Dohar 6th in points, get a strong second place finish. Ryan, this is why the points are so close. This is why you can't miss a race week in and week out, because every week these points get tighter and tighter. Can't wait for the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. And then we'll be back again next Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same channel, same broadcasters, myself and Deplorable Me 44. Again, congratulations to Ward Burton on his win. Second place goes to JRM Dohar, and third place goes to Leafs Justin 24 in that number 9 machine. That will just about do it for us here tonight. Again, catch us next Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Leading Edge Pro Series. I believe they're going to bring the trucks out next week, so that will be fun. These guys will put on a great show. But for us, that will do it tonight. Until the next time we see you, stay on